going, but she just needs people to talk to. So please, if you want to call Lisa, call Lisa. She's so excited to see everyone here. All right, let me let some more people in, actually. Well, good. With this small group, this is going to be nice and informal, and I'll let you do some talking, actually. So this is great. Let's see. Oh, I might not, I shouldn't speak too quickly because now more people are joining. And I hit record too soon. That's okay. I'll edit this out before I put it on. Hi, Lil. Are you ready to jump in? We're going to learn about curiosity. All right.
Buddy.
Chantal, are you shaking your head no? She's so far away, I can't see.
You should have seen her little freak out when I'm like, hey, we got to Zoom with Professor Patchkey. She's like,
yeah. Oh, she's so excited. Hi, Lil. I'm so excited to see you. Hi. This is like a little mini future LBC student who joins all of our sessions. It's so cute.
When she's not in her school.
Yes. Yeah.
I have school like early in the morning. I'm on the early buses though.
You have to go to school early in the morning. And these students, they have to go to school like late at night. All right, welcome. It looks like Samantha just joined us. Awesome. All right. So I'm glad
I got my people.
Oh.
I got my pen.
Hi, everyone.
I'm so excited. Hi. Excuse me. All right. I'm glad you're here. This webinar is titled Reignite Your Curiosity. We're going to look at some daily practices for you and myself that I can implement as lifelong learners. So really tonight's session is focusing on rediscovering something that you actually have. Okay. And that is, let me readjust. That is the natural spark that drives you. It drives you to ask questions. It drives you to explore, to try new hobbies. It allows you to learn. Okay. And we have curiosity. It might have died at some point. We need to really reignite it. Okay. As you know, let me share my screen so we can get started here. But as you know, as adults, we get caught up in so many different routines. We've got never-ending deadlines. There's just so many responsibilities, right? And curiosity is something that came very naturally to us when we were children, right? It comes natural. Even like Lil here, right? La la la, like the young mind, right? They just love to ask questions like, why? This is great. I'm glad Lil's here. This is perfect, right? Children naturally have this. They naturally are curious. But because of everything we do as adults, it tends to fade in the background and we tend to lose it. But the truth is about curiosity is that it's actually vital for staying engaged. It's vital for creativity. It's also adaptable in our lives. Okay. So before we dive in to the science, the strategies, the questions that we're gonna discuss, I want us to start with a quick warm up just to get our minds moving. Okay. So here is our warm-up activity. The last time you wandered, this is what I like to call it. The last time you wandered, I want you to take a minute to think about this question. When was the last time you got curious about something? So curious that you found yourself going down a rabbit hole, reading, watching, or experimenting just for the joy of learning. You can type your answer in the chat, or you can just share a brief example with the group. You can unmute. There's no wrong answer here because it could be something as just figuring out how to make sourdough bread. It could be learning a new digital app, or understanding why your cat acts the way your cat does, right? Anything. When was the last time that you got really curious about something? Because the point here is just to reconnect with that feeling of wonder. So when was the last time?
I'm gonna verbalize it. If you want me to wait or go now, that's up.
Go ahead. It's up. You're right up, Vanessa.
So it would have been maybe 4-ish years ago.
Okay.
I got really into the essential oils to the point I was making my own laundry detergent.
Yes.
It was wonderful. I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Don't have the same financial
Yeah.
setting I was in to keep doing it, but that was fun. And that was the last time I kind of was very like, ooh, what else can I do? Ooh, I can make
Right.
my own soap. What?
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's awesome. And then you think about the amount of time like research goes into that and studying and learning. Okay, that's really cool. All right, so essential oils. Yep. Anyone else? And that was 4 to 5, you said 4 years ago, Vanessa, roughly? Wow. Okay.
mean, I still, I, it's still in my young self. I mean, I still act like a little kid. If
Yeah,
you ever see, so I still get curious a lot. But
good.
it's usually with reading the Bible when I, stumble upon new things. And I was reading Leviticus. Barely anyone reads one of those
No.
rarely read books, and I was looking at the order of how the tabernacle was made, and I
Ah.
don't know, the Holy Spirit clicked in my mind it was the exact order of in the Gospel of John when Jesus made his I am statements.
Mm,
Like, I'm the bread of life, the light of the world, where it was like the showbread table, the lampstand, and it
mm.
was the exact order. And so I
Okay.
went through it and I made a whole list. And I'm like, it's the exact order.
Yeah. Fascinating, right? Okay, so you got really curious. Well, the fact that you're curious about Leviticus, that's cool. All right, love it. Anyone else?
I would like to say, it was about a couple of, well, the first of this year,
Mm-hmm.
I got fascinated with um Jews.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, if I'm gonna serve God, let me like go down this rabbit hole of Jesus and the Jews and
Mm.
the different Jews and so I'm like, am I a Jew? Or wait a minute, no, I'm a Gentile. But wait a minute, could I be a Jew? Because you
Interesting.
know,
Yeah.
the and then I try to figure out, well, are they really Jews? Because
Mm.
according to the Bible, they cross and entwined, and so I was like, well, wait a minute. So
Mm.
who is he coming back for? So I had to go down this whole rabbit hole of, is he really coming back for the Jews, or
Mm.
I'm just kind of curious. So yeah,
Interesting.
that was my whole first part of the year. That's how I end up here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Fascinating. So that you spent a lot of time reading too. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting stuff. So yeah, we're getting curious about different things in life. Okay. Um, now we need to look at, so now you know what that feeling was like, and clearly you all got excited about it just by sharing those stories. You guys were excited about that. So we need to reignite that excitement again, whether that's for academics or something else in life. We need to reignite that, and it can be done. So we're actually going to look at what happens in the brain when you become curious. So yes, curiosity, it might seem like a very simple feeling, but what's happening on the inside is very different. The neuroscience shows that it's one of the most powerful learning tools that we have, and that's curiosity. So we're going to look at the science here. We're actually going to look at a chemical. We're going to look at dopamine soon, okay? So how curiosity stimulates learning and memory, okay? How does it do that? So I gave you kind of an equation here, okay? When you become curious about something, the brain enters a state of heightened attention, very heightened attention, okay? Research shows that this state improves your memory formation. So essentially, curiosity acts like a mental on switch. Okay, so you've got your curiosity, you've got your on switch. It helps the brain retain new information more effectively. So the on switch then opens up brain activity, okay? Which then equals what? That's the memory part. So studies using brain imaging have found that when people are curious, when they're hooked up, they can see much more activity in the hippocampus. Okay. And that's the part of the brain that's responsible for forming and storing memories. Okay. So think about how this equation works. This equals better memory. So this means the more curious you are, the more likely you are to remember and understand what you learn. Okay, sounds simple, but there's a lot that actually needs to be done here. Okay, so let's look at the role specifically of dopamine. This is the brain's reward system. It's fascinating. Curiosity doesn't just engage the memory, it does something else though. It triggers the release of dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter associated with reward and pleasure. Okay, it's also the feel good, right? When your brain anticipates discovering something new, you're learning something new, dopamine then is released and it creates this feeling of happiness, excitement. Okay, that positive reinforcement, then after it releases, we get all these other symptoms. That reinforcement then fuels the desire. You're like, let's do more. So when Vanessa said something about, I learned all this about essential oils, right? Or Joel said he was in Leviticus and he's like, wait a minute, there's more? There's more, okay? That is actually, there's something happening internally. That's the release of dopamine. It's saying, yes, there is more, let's keep going. So this is why curiosity is actually very self-rewarding. The more you learn, the better you feel. And then the more motivated you are to keep learning. So this picture here, it shows a great example of what does dopamine actually regulate. It's a very important chemical that's naturally produced in the body. And then on the right-hand side, those are symptoms of if you have a dopamine imbalance. Okay? Really interesting stuff. Let's look at the link between curiosity and lifelong adaptability. Okay? Curiosity does also strengthen adaptability I would say in a constantly changing world. Being curious is going to help you stay flexible. It's going to help you stay open-minded because it encourages you to seek out new information instead of just relying on what you already know. Okay.
Yeah, I hate to interrupt here.
Yes, go ahead.
Is this going to be posted to like every student to like see and everything?
This will be posted. It will be sent out to those who registered. Yes. And then it will be posted on the Ally Center's resource page. It's just a link to the video.
So I would receive a personal email after the
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Is that what you want or don't want?
I do want, because unfortunately I do have to leave. So as much as I do want to soak up, everything that you're saying.
Absolutely. Yes, this will be sent out to you, okay?
Okay, thank you so much. God bless everyone.
You're welcome. God bless.
Bye.
So when you're open-minded, okay, you're telling yourself, I'm ready to seek out new information. That openness is going to build cognitive resilience. And this is the important part. Cognitive resilience is the ability to adjust to challenges, learn new skills, thrive in very uncertain environments. Sounds so familiar, right? Being in college, right? You're adjusting to very hard challenges. You are learning new skills, and we want you to thrive in very uncertain environments, okay? People who nurture their curiosity throughout adulthood tend to be more creative. They tend to be more empathetic. They actually tend to be better problem solvers, okay? So let's pause for a moment here, okay? Think about a time when following your curiosity led you to learn something valuable or surprising. How did it make you feel? Think about that. When you learned something that was either really valuable or completely surprising, how did that make you feel? Go ahead and share if you would like. For those who already shared, your examples of Leviticus, your examples of essential oils, or learning more about Jews and Gentiles. If you were surprised, how did that make you feel? Did you want to continue to learn more? Were you shocked? Joel saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, you were like, yeah, like this is really interesting. Let's learn more, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I would say surprising
Okay,
or
yeah.
excited, because I was like, well, what more can I do? What else is there? Like, okay, so
Yeah.
um, what pieces? Like, it was
Mhm.
like a puzzle or something, or adventure, or
Ye-
yeah. Because
That's
I was like,
exactly right. It's like yeah, it's like it's like building blocks. You're trying to figure out this puzzle piece, and either you can get really frustrated with it, or you're like, no, I'm gonna try and figure this out. Like this is super cool, right?
yeah. Because I was like, well, who word do I trust, or where do I read this, or where do I go, or is this the
Yeah.
truth, or is this not the truth, or because I even went down to the path of like, let me read. I had to restart in Genesis to come back to go forth, and so I was like, okay, wow, like yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. So that sense of satisfaction and momentum that you experience is exactly how the reward system reinforces curiosity as a lifelong skill. That's exactly what you should be feeling. You're not going to feel it all the time in every assignment, every course, but you should have this feeling of you should want to be learning. You should be excited about this. Okay.
Mm.
So let's look at, why does curiosity tend to fade in adulthood? We already talked about that curiosity is one of our very early instincts. Okay. As children, we constantly ask questions. We like to experiment. We like to explore just to understand the world around us. That's how children's minds work, right? But somewhere along the way, that spark often begins to dim. Okay, the older we get. So let's take a closer look as to why this happens and what can be holding us back. So I gave you two main reasons here. The first is common social and cognitive factors that dampen curiosity, meaning as we grow older, society begins to reward the right answers more than the thoughtful questions. Okay. So in school, at work, even in our personal lives, we often learn that being correct, efficient, and productive is valued over exploring other possibilities. Have you noticed that? You might have noticed that in some of your classes. This shift is then going to subtly discourage your curiosity. Cognitively, many adults rely on their patterns. We rely on our experiences to make very quick decisions. That's what we do because we have the experience. Yes, this is useful, but it then reduces the need to seek out new information. We begin to lose that curiosity because we then choose to favor familiarity because that feels safer. That's more predictable, right? But then that limits the space to wander and to ask open-ended questions for more exploration. Okay. Over time, our mental flexibility, which that's the ability to see things from a new perspective, it becomes very narrow. Right. So that's more of the social aspect that dampens. Now, the next one is going to be fear and busyness. Okay. You know these two. We have adults, they experience a lot of fear coming back to school, and just we are incredibly busy people. So we need to really reflect on these two modern barriers to curiosity. Okay. It's fear and it's a busy lifestyle. Fear of being wrong. That's a big one. We tend to avoid asking questions or even exploring new ideas because we worry about looking uninformed. We don't want to look like we're dumb because we're adults, right? This fear just stops curiosity right in its tracks. That's what it does. It just stops it. We start seeking certainty instead of discovery because then we forget that curiosity thrives in uncertainty. And we love certainty. We love to know what's coming tomorrow, right? So that's the fear of being wrong. The next is busyness or overcommitment. Yes, our days are jam-packed. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it, guys? It's 7:25, right? I've been here since 6 a.m. I haven't left this campus and I'm exhausted. Our days are packed with tasks, deadlines, emails, responsibilities. It's go, 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 go. And when the mind is constantly in task mode, there is a very little energy left for wandering, for observing, for experimenting, because we're stuck in this rut. Curiosity, it requires space. It needs space, mental space, emotional space. It has to be able to follow unexpected paths. So without that, we then default to just practicality instead of exploration. All right. So that's the two fears there. Let's look at the next slide. Now that we understand why curiosity fades, now we need to focus on how to bring it back. Okay. The good news is that curiosity isn't something you actually lose completely. It's something that you can strengthen with awareness and just small intentional habits. Okay. So this next part of our session is designed to help you reconnect with a sense of wonder in your daily life. That's what we're going to talk about now. So let's look at this first one. There's a concept in mindfulness, and it does come back to like the Zen philosophy. It's called a beginner's mind. It's fascinating stuff. It means approaching experiences as if you're seeing them for the very first time. Okay? So instead of assuming you already know, you're telling yourself, I'm open to discovering what's new. It could be very unfamiliar territory for me, right? Practicing a beginner's mind transforms your routine experiences into learning opportunities. So here's an example. Rather than rushing through your morning coffee, why not try and pause just to notice the aroma? Why don't you count? How long does it take for your coffee to brew? Do you know? Or are we too busy rushing? If there's stairs going up into your home, do you know how many stairs there are? A lot of times we're like, go, 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 go. Do you know how many stairs there are? Do you actually count? Okay. When your coffee's brewing, why don't you notice what's going on around you? Yes, you might say, wow, the dishes are really piling up. Okay, that's something. Okay. Why don't you listen to the sound as it's brewing? If you don't drink coffee, try and, make your tea, something else, right? Incorporate all your senses, the smells, the sounds. Okay. That's one example. Another example is while you're brushing your teeth. I encourage you, if you are naturally a right-handed person, why not try to activate the left-hand side? Why not try it? You're completely switching up your routine, which is allowing your brain to kind of go, what's happening? I don't really know because I'm not left-handed, right? And it trains you. You actually are practicing stimulating that side of the brain. And you'll notice that you have to be very more cautious, especially if you're not left-handed. You might not even be able to get it in your mouth. I don't know. All right. These are just simple ways that you can engage in the beginner's mind, the mind concept. So what does this look like in professional life? Well, this mindset is going to help you to ask fresh questions, like better questions. You might be able to spot possibilities that others might overlook because they might have already seen this before. Okay. So every meeting you go into, even every class you enter, yes, you might know some of the material, but ask yourself, okay, what's something I don't know? I'm going to try and notice small details. Okay. These are some ways that you can practice this. Number one is deliberately slowing down and noticing small details. Think about what are some details, small details that you might notice around your home, or you might notice when talking with a family member or a friend. Do they constantly scratch their nose? Do they play with their hair? Like, what do they do? Okay. Next practice is reframing a familiar task as if you are teaching it to someone who doesn't know how to do it. Okay. Or teaching it to someone who is brand new at this, right? How would you teach it to someone? It's familiar to you, but it's not familiar to them. So how would you teach it? Okay. And then the third is to ask yourself, what haven't I noticed about this before? Okay. You can rephrase questions like this. All right. 3 simple tasks to open up this beginner's mind, right? This is a concept of mindfulness as well. Really teaches us to slow down. The Bible talks about this quite frequently, okay? Let's look at now some micro habits. Someone here, she's still here. Yes, Vanessa is still here. She's going to love my number 1 tip. We're going to talk about some micro habits to cultivate curiosity, okay? Again, curiosity thrives in small, consistent moments. This is not one big ta-da.
Your answer to everything.
Yes, Vanessa knows.
journaling.
Vanessa knows. All right. Vanessa's been with me for, I don't even know, a few years now, and she knows my answer to almost everything is to journal. Okay. Because it does work. Okay. That's why my answer. Besides prayer, okay, obviously, a tangible way, like literally to stimulate the brain and to
You can journal your prayers too. So
you can journal your prayers.
again,
Exactly.
journaling is the answer to everything.
It is my answer for everything. If you listen to the podcast, you know. My last episode, Vanessa, I was laughing because I accidentally said it in the episode. I was like, and I have a student who's going to love this, but here we go. Step number 1 is to journal. Anyways, let's call this, though, curiosity journaling. How about that? All right. What does this look like? End each day by writing down something that caught your attention. Okay. And then maybe add a question of, how did it spark your attention? What did it do to you? Over time, this is then going to build a record of discovery and possibility. Okay. Write down something from today that caught your attention, right? You're just opening up your mind to new possibilities by doing this. Number 2 is their mindful observations. Spend 2 minutes, few minutes, just observing your surroundings without any judgment. Who cares if people are looking at you? You are really just soaking up outside, okay? It might look weird, but you're just having mindful observations. Look for small details. Notice colors, patterns. Listen to specific sounds. It's fascinating. We usually miss these things. And when we miss these things, that's when we know, well, curiosity is not there, okay? And the last one is to ask open-ended questions. So replace what is this with why does this work this way? Or what could happen if? What could I notice or explore here that I've overlooked? Is there a new method, perspective, or tool that I could try? Okay, the quality of your questions shapes the depth of your curiosity. Okay. Rephrase them to more positive, open-minded questions. Okay. No, you don't need big goals, a whole 5-year plan right now, hours and hours of free time to do this. This takes 5 minutes of mindful exploration that is going to reignite your interest in the world around you. You're going to notice so many unique things about people, smells, stuff in your academics, even in your devotions. Okay. And once you remember that reigniting curiosity does not mean you're changing your entire life. Okay. It just means you're changing the way you look at life. Okay. Even on a day-to-day basis. The more you practice this, the more naturally curiosity becomes part of the way you think and work and learn and grow. It's part of life. Okay. Excuse me. So let's look how to turn curiosity from more of a personal mindset into a lasting source in our work, relationships, and our personal projects that we encounter. Okay. And then also our academics. Okay. First one, curiosity at work. Okay. Curiosity is going to fuel innovation. It does allow for better problem solving. So when we approach challenges with open-ended thinking, we are creating space for collaboration and fresh ideas. So instead of asking colleagues, what went wrong? Try asking, what can we learn from this? Okay. Or what are we not seeing yet? Okay. The power of yet. Huge. This kind of questioning shifts focus from blame to learning. The question of like, what went wrong? It's more of negative thoughts. If we can say, what can we learn from this? What are we not seeing yet? That is switching to that learner mindset. This is going to help both you, if you're a leader, and also your team or colleagues really evolve. It will bring you closer together if you just change the way you ask your questions. Okay. Number 2 is curiosity in relationships. They deepen relationships. Romantic ones, friendships, family members. Okay. It's because when you stay genuinely interested in others by asking how they see a situation or what matters most to them, you are creating trust and empathy. Okay. Curiosity reminds us to listen before responding and to always value other people's perspectives. Okay. Simple curiosity driven questions like, tell me more about what you mean. Okay, that's going to transform everyday conversations into opportunities for connection. All right. Then we have your personal life. Curiosity keeps growth alive because when you're exploring a new hobby, learning a new language, understanding a topic you once ignored, curiosity helps you step outside of that comfort zone. Making those essential oils, that's getting out of a comfort zone. That's something really different, right? Every new challenge becomes less about perfection and more about the exploration of it. How are you learning? Why are you learning? Learning is a form of worship. Okay. The result this way is so much more richer. It's more flexible. You will then be equipped to handle certain more challenges or changes. And lastly, the most important one is curiosity in academics. This is why you're here tonight, right? Curiosity in academics is a critical driver for learning, achievement, and long-term intellectual development. When it's present, you are motivated to actively seek new information in your courses. You're more likely to ask thoughtful questions, and you're more likely to engage deeply with the material, the modules, the assignments, the reading, discussion posts. Start by identifying and exploring any knowledge gaps that you might have. That's where I would start. Where are the gaps? Notice what you don't know, and then use that as motivation to seek new information. Say, okay, what do I not know about this class, right? Setting personal learning goals around these topics that also do genuinely interest you is going to be so important. It's going to spark that curiosity. It's going to keep you motivated to keep diving deeper into the material, right? And that's a whole nother topic, is setting personal learning goals. That's a whole nother webinar, right? So as we close, I want you to remember that curiosity isn't just a skill that you had as a child. It's really the secret to lifelong learning and adaptability. You can nurture it. So the more you nurture it, the more possibilities you're going to see around you. You're going to see more happen in your classes. It's going to transform your relationships. Okay. And then you're actually going to experience more rewarding academic, professional, personal journeys. Okay. So here's a reflection. Let's end with a moment of reflection. What's one thing you want to explore more deeply after today? Okay, jot this down. You can write it in the chat or you can share it. You can say it out loud. What's one thing you want to explore more deeply after today? It could be the curiosity in academics. It could be a new hobby. It could be something relationally. What's one thing you want to explore? See some people taking notes. I'm thinking, I'll let you think. Joel's like, this is No, it's too late at night. I actually can't think right now.
My body is fighting right now. I'm like my brain's saying go to sleep, my body's saying stay awake.
You can do it. We're almost done, Joel.
It's a rarity when I get like this.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. It's a rarity. I know.
Yeah, I'm also kind of coming up as my brain does not want to brain.
Your brain doesn't want to brain.
It doesn't want to brain.
That is so funny.
Hold on, Lil.
It's probably hard, and you don't even have to answer this because I know this is like putting you on the spot too, but just write this down and think about it. Maybe there's something that you would want to explore more. Maybe this next week, maybe it's over Christmas break, maybe it's a summer project. What does it look like? Okay, you can keep this and yeah, more deeply in academics. Yeah, good stuff.
I like exploring things that I can do physically, like the essential oils. So
yeah,
maybe kind of, I don't know, kind of curious about how, when I'm faced with subjects I am struggling with, how I can find a way to make it something to be more curious about than frustrated with.
Yeah. Yes, it's very easy to get frustrated because we don't know the information. We don't know it. And if we're not interested in it, we're more likely to beat ourselves up about it. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I noticed, especially like with your classes, Vanessa, your previous classes, you were down a lot. You're like, oh, this class, or like, oh, this assignment. Now that you're in a psychology course, I mean, you're loving it. You're like, yeah, this is so exciting, right? It's because we love it. We love what we're learning. Yeah, there's a higher level of curiosity there because you're passionate about it. Same with different scripture. Some things, I don't know how Joel got through Leviticus, so that's awesome. But there are other parts of the Bible you're like, this is so cool. Like, let's dive in, right?
We started on genealogies.
That makes sense.
You will not think like what God has shown me through genealogies of these people. I mean, I'm surprised I got anything else.
That's pretty cool. That is really cool.
But
Yes.
my answer I can muster right now
Okay, I'm ready.
would probably be you know I mean I keep exploring this every day, how to what's your how to fulfill your God-given gift that he has for you,
Yes. Yes. Yeah. What are your gifts? What are your spiritual gifts? Yes. That's something that's really cool to dive into. Absolutely.
The whole reason I'm here is because of that actual
Is the question, or you think the spiritual gift? That's what you're referring to.
the calling.
The calling. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Fascinating.
He took the words right out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Purpose.
Yeah.
And not so focused on others, but when you get to the point where you continue going, or I guess being positive with asking questions, but not being so worried about what everybody else is doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great point. That is a really good point. Yeah, keep this question in mind. Think about the answers you gave. How then are you going to explore these areas? Think about that. Yeah, what are the next steps that you need? Chantel's shaking your head no. Like, I don't know. Yeah, think about these things as you move forward. That is the last bit. I knew it was going to be a little shorter. That's awesome. 45-minute webinar. There you go. All right. This will be sent out to you via a recording. I'll also send out this PowerPoint for you to have to look back on. Feel free to email me if you have further questions, or you can email the Ally Center if you need to schedule an appointment, right? But most of you, I meet with you anyway, actually, which is great. There will be more webinars coming out. So I will also add in the email the link to upcoming webinars or workshops that are occurring in November. Okay. But other than that, thank you for taking 45 minutes out of your evening, spending it with us together, learning about a new topic. That's wonderful. I appreciate it. So thank you very much. I hope you have a very good evening.
You too. You have
All
a
right.
blessed evening and a blessed weekend.
Yes. God bless. Amen.
All right.
Amen.
Good night.
All right.
Good
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.